So welcome to the Digital Maddie Show with your host and host Miithyl. The show made exclusively for solopreneurs, artists, and coaches who build their digital empire. With 15 plus years of business experience, I cover topics on personal branding, content creation, and digital marketing on this show and invite many experts who share the same passion like mine. Today, we have an amazing guest on our show. His name is Brad, and as we as entrepreneurs, the first thing that we do is we always have a focus on business, but the one thing that we neglect is health. So I am excited today to have him here. But before we bring him on the stage, let me introduce him. So he is a certified health coach, spiritual practitioner, and author. He guides others on a journey of self discovery into becoming fit, happy, and a healthy based on what works for them and their own interpretation of being fit, happy, and healthy. He is also the creator of the MindStrong mindset training and an audio program for developing the mindset you need to become a better version of yourself. So, without wasting much of our time, let's bring on to Brad onto the stage. So, Brad, welcome to the Digital Maddie Show.
Hi, Miithyl. Thank you so much for having me here. It's truly a pleasure and an honor to be here with you today. Thank you.
The pleasure is all mine, and same is with the honors. So, Brad, why don't you share your backstory with all of us?
Sure. So thank you again for having me here. And as you mentioned, yeah, a background in health and health coaching. And it started just, oh gosh, about 13 years ago. Being here in America, we have an expression we say, couch potato, someone who has just, devoted their entire last however many years to working and to family, but has neglected their health, and their health has just kind of gone by the wayside. So that became me. And the term we use to describe that is couch potato. And I woke up one day and I was sitting in my bedroom. I was still married at the time and sitting on my bed. And I just looked at myself and I had this, for men, we say, a really big spare tire in the front, a big tummy, a big stomach, a beer belly or a Santa Claus belly. We kind of describe it that way sometimes. And I just looked at myself and I said, you know what, this is just not good. This is disgusting. I was just really disappointed in myself. And I'll jump back and forth a little bit, but I realized a few years later into my journey that health, kind of everything centers around health, especially as we get older. When we're still in our 20s, 30s, 40s, even our 50s, it's not as big a deal. But as we start to get into our 50s, 60s, and 70s, if we've devoted our entire lives to simply working and building a career or even family, which is all good stuff, and we've neglected our health, that is really going to come up and really work against us as we get older. So I wanted to start this journey to become healthy and to learn how to be healthy. And I didn't even know what that meant at the time. What is healthy? How do you be healthy? And how can I be healthy? And does it mean diet and exercise and all of that? And in the beginning, I thought, well, it does mean diet and exercise. But what I've learned later on is that it means so much more than that. And the first thing I would say to anyone, if you want to go down this path of being healthy, it's the same as going down the path of being an entrepreneur or whatever that you choose for your life, is that you have to choose to be healthy. Just like you have to choose to be an entrepreneur or a specific kind of entrepreneur, you have to make that decision. Today, I am going to be healthy. And when you're working as an entrepreneur, probably I'm going to guess you're prioritizing that. And that is your first priority in your life and in addition to your family. If you want to reclaim your health, then that has to become the first priority in your life, more than your family, even more than your business or being an entrepreneur. And so all of this started to make sense to me that, we've got to choose to be healthy, and then we've got to focus on being healthy. And then the Kickstarter to all of this, which Miithyl, you probably know very well, is you have to understand your why. Why am I here? Why do I want to do this? And so all of these things I started to piecemeal together, and it led to my journey where now I'm happy to be here and share with others, how do you be healthy and how can you live that healthy lifestyle?
Awesome, Brad, and I'm super excited to have you here and trying to dig in. What's in your what's in your brain, and how do you motivate people to take you into that mindset, because I think for the entire health to go to the next level, it's all about mindset. Of course, many
Mhm.
other things also, but mindset is maybe the fuel to take it further.
Yeah, so with mindset, the easiest way to begin that is what I call think the opposite. So if you say to yourself, and to use this term, I've heard a lot of clients say this, I'm fat. Okay, well, what is the opposite of that? I'm a lean, mean health machine. So you take your mindset and you start focusing not on what you are, but what you want to be, who you want to become. So I'm a lean, mean health machine. That's the first thing I say when a client says I'm overweight or I'm fat. I'm like, you need to start seeing yourself as a lean, mean health machine. And everything that you do to switch your mindset goes to focusing on the opposite, but it also goes to asking yourself a question. A great question that I asked myself when I was going through this journey, to switch from eating, I used to eat, donuts and potato chips and soda pop and all that every day. My breakfast used to be these pizza pockets, chocolate milk, and a donut like every morning. And I asked myself, well, if I eat that, will that help me be healthy? And the answer was no. And so it was asking these questions that helped to change my mindset from who I am to who I want to be.
Awesome. I'm like, that's actually deep, but that's the journey everyone should take it to. So, Brad, I have a couple of questions for you. First and foremost, these all questions primarily revolve around even me being a part of in the health journey. So these, like assume these are my questions. All right. So these are something from my brain. So I have tried weight loss, I have tried lot of things, keto, intermittent fasting, and many other things. But many a times what happens is we tend to not get the actual answer as to, okay, let me put it in this way. How do I know if I'm actually climbing the right ladder in my life?
That's a great question. And the answer is you feel it. So I've asked myself that same question. How do you know if you're climbing the right ladder? Is that you feel it in your heart. If it feels like you're climbing the right ladder and that you're on the right track, then you are. If it feels like something is off, that you're not climbing the right ladder, then most likely you can never, how do I say this? You're either in alignment or not in alignment, but you can never be not on the right ladder, because whatever ladder you're currently climbing is the ladder that you need to climb to get to the ladder that you're meant to climb, like a stepping stone, so to speak. But the easiest way to answer your question is it's a feeling inside of you. Stop and ask yourself, and that's again back to the mindset question. How do you reprogram your mind and develop a new mindset? You ask yourself that question. Am I climbing the right ladder? Go inside and ask, how does it feel? Does it feel like I'm climbing the right ladder? If it feels like you are, then yes, you are. If it feels off, if it feels wrong, then kind of refocus and reevaluate the situation.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Brad. Uh, so, Brad, I on the Netflix, I was watching a documentary, the one which actually gave me a lot of insights and changed a bit of, my mindset. The name of the documentary is The Game Changers. And that was somewhere where a lot of research was done on athletes and not vegan, but converting them into a vegetarian diet and, getting more energy. So, as per you, Brad, what is the key to happiness and an unlimited energy? Because in today's era, most people who are doing from work from home, and we all know, sitting on the chair in the office is the new smoking. So, and we
Yeah.
usually by the end of the day we lose our energy. So, as per you, what is the key to happiness and an unlimited energy?
My gosh, that is such an outstanding question. I wish we had, like the rest of the day to talk about that question alone and that topic. I'll try to be quick and concise for your listeners. The key to happiness really is being in alignment with who you are. Now, what I mean by that is inside of you, you have something called an internal guidance system. And if you're tuned into that internal guidance system and you're listening to it and allowing it to guide you to wherever it's supposed to guide you, that is the key to happiness. Now, the key to energy, that's very similar. Let me back up a little bit and say, we talk about emotional energy, spiritual energy, intellectual energy, and of course, physical energy. The easiest one to start with is physical energy. And the easiest way to get physical energy, like, boom, instantly right away, is look at what you're eating, healthy eating. Are you eating sugar, processed foods? If you are, we need to start eliminating those. The second way is we got to get you moving. You're exactly right, Miithyl. Sitting has become the new smoking. So I've implemented a rule in my life that, minimum 4 times a day, I get up and move. If it's just walking around the block, I usually park at the very bottom. So I walk up, 3 or 4 flights of stairs to get to, where I am today. So you have to have a very basic rule: move for at least 5 or 10 minutes, 4 times a day, some sort of movement. At my home, I have a little mini trampoline jump. I'll stop, whatever I'm doing at the computer, I'll get up and I'll jump on that. I'll go walk around the block. I'll go outside and do a little bit of yoga or stretching. So that's the physical energy, the movement and the eating. The intellectual energy, feed yourself like this podcast. Lots of good stuff that motivates you, that inspire you. Read something, watch something. I'm always listening and reading something to feed my intellectual, that inspires me and makes me happy. Music is a great one to feed that energy that you can listen to for the intellectual one. The emotional and spiritual one, those are the two tricky ones. But as we've talked about already, being in alignment, like I can see you smiling right now, Miithyl. You can see it in me. I'm happy. I'm smiling because I love doing podcasts. I love talking about this stuff. It's when you get that alignment with doing what it is that you were put on this planet to do. I can't tell you what that is. That's in your heart. But that is where, that heart chakra that we talk about, that is what really opens it. And that's when the energy is just flowing. So that's the key to happiness is allowing that heart chakra to be open, to be in alignment with that, doing what it is you were meant to do. And then the key to energy is the healthy eating, the movement, feeding your mind and spirit, good stuff, family, friends, all that kind of stuff.
Wow. So yes, like it takes many aspects to eventually generate unlimited energy. And very rightly said, I think this is I think, Brad, I would confess, you are the one who made me actually uh, you know made me realize and made me explain it in the most simplest way, so that it's not just eating food. It's also about emotional, it's also about spiritual, it's also about mental, right? And physical is one of them. But eventually what people just think, like today, I think one of my I got an epiphany, is that when it comes to boosting your energy, people only think of just trying to have some kind of a booster energy drinks or something like that. So it's only physical aspect, but there are other aspects also which contributes over it. Because if we are mentally drained, even if we have a lot of energy in our body practically, but still because of mentally drained, we will not feel energetic and will feel low. So I very rightly said, thank you so much, Brad, for that. Deep gratitude.
You're very welcome. And you made a good point. The energy drinks and whatnot are a quick dose that I've tried them, and actually, for me, they don't work at all. There's some different seminars I've been to which teach you, these physical techniques to train your muscles and to train your nervous system to have more energy, and those work. But again, then you have to go to what I call the energy gym, and that takes work, and that's a lot of effort. It's really just being in alignment with who you are, and then moving and healthy eating, and that all has to be grounded in that question: why are you doing this? What motivates you? And I'll just jump into that real quick. People want to ask me, well, how do I find my why? Your why is your key to everything. Start off with what you're doing, or what your goal is. And just from the health industry, this is a common one. I want to lose 50 pounds and I have more energy. Okay. Why do you want to lose weight and have more energy? Well, so I can be more active and be around with my grandkids. Well, why is that important to be more active and be with your grandkids? Oh, because I want to be around for a long time. Oh, you see that? Oh, being around for a long time, that's much more powerful than losing weight and having more energy. So you get to that root why. It's called the 5 layers of why, or sometimes I've had to go 7 or 10 or 15 layers deep with that process to determine my why about why am I podcasting or why am I starting a health coaching business. But start there. That's your starting point. Whatever your goal is or whatever you're doing in your life, ask yourself why and take that as many layers deep as you need to until it really resonates with you. And you're like, oh, that's the real reason I want to lose weight. That's the real reason I want to do this. So
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Brad, for that. So, Brad, when it comes to okay, we'll just right now focus on the physical aspect. So, what is the best way to eat for a long-term health and a weight management? Because, as you said, want to go for a very long journey. So, in order to sustain till that end, so what is the best way to eat?
that's a great question too, and I actually just finished the chapter in my book. I'm writing a book called Walking for Health, and I just finished the chapter on that question. There's a program I teach. It's called intermittent eating, and it is based on a randomized eating pattern. It's not intermittent fasting, but it's very similar to intermittent fasting. But with intermittent eating, you choose a random pattern for when you eat. So I might eat at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then I might not have any food again until the next day. And then the next day I have a lot of food. So I'll eat like 2 meals or 3 meals. It just kind of depends. I explain it in a lot more detail in that book. But intermittent eating combined with slow, easy movement, slow, easy cardio, and then, of course, healthy eating. That is the key to everything. I say this a lot too, you can do all the exercise in the world, you can do all the movement in the world, and it can be undone, instantly like that if you're not eating the right foods and then you're not eating the right pattern. So, again, intermittent eating doesn't focus on what you eat, that is part of it. It focuses on when you eat and how you eat. So intermittent eating, it's hard to explain it in here. I've written it in my book, Walking for Health, which I know, we'll get to this later, but that is on my website and everything.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Brad, for that. So, all the people who are watching this as a video, listening as a podcast, comment below how do you boost your energy when you start feeling low? Do you listen to music? Do you watch any funny video? Maybe you listen to audiobooks, or how do you activate your energy when you feel there is a dip in it? Share it in the comments below, and me and Brad will reply back to you. So, Brad, with this, we come to the end of the phase one of the episode. And with this, we start the phase two. And all our listeners know that the phase two is all about rapid fire
Right.
round. So,
I'm
in this,
excited. Let's do it.
awesome. So, I'm going to ask you 5 questions, Brad, and whatever the first thing comes in your mind, just share that. All right. So, are you ready and excited?
I am. I am. Let's do it. Thank you.
Awesome. So let's zoom in and create a little bit of an intense. All right. So let's go with the very first question. So, Brad, who do you admire the most?
Martin Luther King Jr.
Wow. Wow. Same here. Same here.
and Gandhi.
True. True. All right. We go to the second question. What is the one thing that you would like to put in your bucket list in 2022?
A trip to Hawaii.
This is one question almost every guest has said to travel. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Brad. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Love, health, and happiness.
Wow. Isn't it like love, pray, and that was a eat, love, and pray.
Oh, I
That's
think
a
there
book
was
and a
Eat, Love,
movie.
Pray or something. Yeah. For me, love, health, and happiness.
Lovely, lovely. That's cool. All right, we go to the fourth one. So, if a movie was to be made on your life, what genre it would be, and who would play your role?
Oh my gosh. Who would play my role? I guess Leonardo DiCaprio. He's a solid, well-talented actor. And I'm sorry, what was the first part of that question? What?
What genre would it be?
Oh, it would be an adventure coming of age type of a movie. Yeah.
So, a complete transformational energy. I mean, like an adventure.
Yeah,
Lovely,
someone who was lost, who at the end found themselves. Yeah,
beautiful.
someone who did not know their place in the world, their purpose, their meaning, their calling, any of that, but by the end of the story they did. They understood all that.
Lovely, lovely. All right, a little on towards your childhood side. So, who's your favorite cartoon character and why?
Oh my gosh, probably Mighty Mouse. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. That's an older one, but someone like me who was very small, always overlooked and underrated, yet had this strong superpower to just do anything and everything. So Mighty Mouse.
Lovely, lovely. So thank you so much, Brad, for going through this entire rapid fire round, and you did good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely. So, Brad, all the people who are listening to this particular episode, if they want to connect with you, how can they do that?
Sure. The best way to connect with me is at my website. It's www.trainingwithcoachbrad.com. And I've got links on there to all my social media platforms as well as my own podcast, www.trainingwithcoachbrad.com.
So all the links are available in the description. Do check it out and connect with Brad to start the transformational journey. So, Brad, with this, we come to the end of the episode. However, I would love to speak a lot and wish to have you again onto the platform. Uh,
Thank you.
but, but before we conclude, what is the one message that you wish to give to our audience?
You get one shot at life. You get one shot at this physical life in the body that you are currently experiencing, and so make the most of that. And the way you make the most of that is focus on three things: love, health, and happiness. And the way you focus on love, health, and happiness is to go inside, ask yourself, who am I? Where am I going? What do I want, and why?
Brad, you just gave me goosebumps.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Brad, for taking out your valuable time and sharing so much valuable insights regarding health, mindset, and many other aspects related to energy. And I'm deeply grateful for each of that. Thank you so much, Brad.
Well, thank you for having me on the Digital Maddie Show today. This has been an absolute pleasure, and thank you. You have been an absolutely wonderful guest and host. And again, thank you, and thank you to all the listeners. This has been a truly incredible experience for me personally.
Awesome, awesome. So you have just listened to the Digital Maddie Show with your host Miithyl. Thank you so much for listening to our show and giving so much love. Don't forget to subscribe to our show on the podcast platform that you are listening to. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. This is Miithyl signing off with Brad. At the moment, until next time, meet you soon with another guest and their exciting stories. But until then, keep rocking, stay safe. I would say be healthy also, and don't forget to keep creating content. Ciao.